He kōna e purangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
Dan Slevin here very shortly to talk movies. But first, some music. The Simon Park Orchestra. And that piece of music is called Eye Level. It was selected for us by our dapper Don of cinema, Dan Slevin himself. Dan, welcome to back to the program.
Oh, it's lovely to be here with you.
Now, why that song?
Why that? I get to choose, thank you very much to your team, I get to choose some film or television music to start the segment off each week. And this week, no particular reason except that one turned up on my shuffle on my in my personal listening, and I thought, that'd be interesting to play. And I had a bit of a look into it, and that's the theme to a British TV show from the 1970s called Van der Valk, which was a hugely successful detective show, ran for 5 seasons from 1972 to 1992, starring Barry Foster. And the shtick of Van der Valk was that even though it was a British show, it was set in Amsterdam, and all the crime happened in Amsterdam. So if we think that the idea of a kind of cozy crime was that genre is relatively new, no, it's been a staple of television for since the beginning, really. Stick a detective in an exotic or unusual place, and then just have people falling over in front of him, and then he has to solve the crime. And that piece of music will be instantly familiar to people of a certain age, I'm sure. It was originally library music. You're familiar with the concept of this, where broadcasters basically buy hundreds of records that they own the rights to play music to. They don't have to pay any royalties on them. They just buy them up, buy the rights up front. And that was originally library music, but it was so popular as the theme tune to the show, it was released as a single, and it became a #1 hit in the British charts. Sold over 1 million copies. It's the 12th biggest single of the 1970s.
Isn't that great? Oh, I love it. Yeah, library. I'm fascinated by library music. I have to tell you that the theme song to this program is a piece of library music from. So we have a subscription at RNZ to a company called UPM, Universal Production Music. And when I hosted the Detail podcast, one of the funnest parts of the job, and it was a very fun job, was finding music to fit the kind of mood and the tone of the podcast. And they're amazing, these music libraries, aren't they? They have hundreds of thousands of pieces of music, and there are musicians whose job this is to write library music, and they get a little bit of money for every time someone uses their track. It's very interesting, isn't it?
It's fascinating, and some of these tracks, there will be, like I did the same when I was working at RNZ, and some of these there'll be a 2-minute version, a 90-second version, a 60-second version, a 30-second version, and a 15-second version, so that you can you can drop into the perfect moment for your show. There's quite a lot of TV shows used library music, and their themes became really famous. I don't know if you know the theme to the British cop show The Bill. That was library music as well, and became a huge hit.
Oh, I love it. Dan Slevin, the things you teach me. All right. Now, you've been to the cinema. Actually, you've been to the cinema quite a lot recently, haven't you? Because there's a cool thing happening.
Yeah, this is one of my favourite times of the year, actually. It's the Resene, we should name check the sponsor, seeing as it wouldn't happen without them, the Resene Architecture and Design Film Festival. As the nights get longer, it becomes film festival season, doesn't it, really? There's quite a lot of them turning up. But this is, I think, it's one of the highlights of my year, because I am personally interested in architecture and urban design, and I am, and these films often don't return in any reasonable manner. They don't land on streamers. They a couple might get an extra cinema release if enough people go during the festival, but often they're quite niche topics, and some of my favourite films from previous festivals have never returned in any shape or form, and so this is the only chance you get. I haven't seen these in a cinema. I know producers don't like talking about the pre-release copies we sometimes get as reviewers, but the festival itself only started in Auckland yesterday. It doesn't make it to Wellington for a little while, and so they gave me access. And what I like to do is I consider it sort of throwing darts at the program and seeing what lands, you know. And there's 20 films in the program, and I chose 4, and if you like 3 out of 4 of them, I think that's a pretty good sign for the festival as a whole. And I actually got a big kick out of all 4, actually.
Oh, fantastic.
It's terrific. And I know that time is really short today, but I'd like to mention the 4 that I saw.
Go for it. Yeah. We've got a decent chunk, Dan. You take as long as you like.
All right, I will. Bugger the pips. I'll keep on going. The first one I want to talk about is called Nuvola, an open project for the city, and that's a short documentary, or under an hour, and it's about a building that was constructed in a working class or industrial part of the city of Turin, and it was the new home base for the Lavazza Coffee Company. And not only did they build a fabulous building, but they breathed new life into the entire precinct. They put a museum in an old power station. They built a park and fountains, and what they've done is that they have, through sensitive design and intelligent choices, they've actually breathed new life into that whole part of the city, which was really struggling. And so it's kind of inspirational on its sort of social level, but it's also inspirational on a design level. The museum, the Lavazza Museum, it's like having a te papa devoted to coffee, if you can imagine such a thing. I certainly can. But also they made some really beautiful decisions. Like, there are 2 staff commissaries that are open to the public, which is a good thing, because one of them is run by a Michelin-starred chef called Ferran Adria, who used to have the restaurant El Bulli in Spain. And the second one is also an amazing restaurant. It was designed by the Oscar-winning set designer Dante Ferretti. So these people have done just an extraordinary job. And I realised watching it that this could only happen because Lavazza is still a family-owned company. It's the 3rd and 4th generation of Lavazza are still in charge, which means they can spend their money on anything they want. And if it was venture capital or private equity, or if they were on the share market or something, they would have built something square and boring and tried to fill every inch right up to the boundaries, you know. And instead, we've got this absolute thing of beauty, and it made me, I don't know how much travel there's going to be in my future. It's getting very expensive, and it might be a bit out of reach for a while. So these films are often the way I get to experience places that I'd like to go to, and Turin looks absolutely sensational in this film.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Great football team too. Perhaps we'll get onto that later on if we have time. Now that's Nuvola, an open project for the city. You've also watched a film called, I'm very interested in this, The Great Arch.
The Grand Arch.
The Grand Arch.
Yeah, this one's. I might have. That might be a problem with my notes, but the Grand Arch is a famous modernist building in Paris. It's at the opposite end of the Champs-Élysées to the Arc de Triomphe, and it was designed by a Danish architect called Johan Otto von Spreckelsen, and this film is actually a dramatic recreation of the incidents behind its creation, because he won a competition in the early 1980s and nobody had heard of him. He hadn't designed anything bigger than a church before, and yet here he is. He's going to design one of the great modern buildings of this fantastic European capital. He goes to Paris. This is a building which you might be familiar. It's a cube which has a hole in the middle, and the idea is that on one side of it you can look through the hole and see the Arc de Triomphe at the other end of the mall, and they're supposed to kind of reflect each other. It's a stunning piece of design.
Yeah. It's really, I know it well. Yeah, it's an incredible thing to behold, isn't it?
Exactly, but the film is about the travails of making it. Initially supported by President Francois Mitterrand, he then gets sort of ground down by French petty politics, and he's just an unworldly person who doesn't really know how to play the political game too much. He passed away before the building was completed. You never got to see the finished version of it, unfortunately. But it's a really great piece of work, especially the recreations of the building of it, which will all have to be done with digital visual effects, because the building exists and you can hardly sort of recreate the building of it now, except with special effects. It's fascinating if you're interested in the kind of choices that architects make, especially around materials, marble and the kinds of glass that are required, and yet it's also a drama. It's got actors in it and stuff. It's great.
That's the Grand Arch. Now, you've got two more at the film festival, Dan. I might have to start hurrying you up here, but Googie, this sounds quite cool. This is about Californian leisure locations.
Yeah, Googie is a particular style of architecture that once you see one of them, you'll know, oh, right, those sorts of things. And these are mid-century diner and restaurant and sort of drive-through takeaway buildings that are designed to be seen from your car. We've got a clip from it here. Let's play a little. They'll explain it better than I, Dan.
Googie architecture is an expression of roadside architecture, architecture that needed to pull the consumer out of their car.
Googie buildings can be seen from literally a mile away. A giant sign, windows of glass, roofs that are in all different directions at the same time, and the great dynamic tension between the primitive and the modern, between stone and wood and organic materials and futuristic stuff like plastic and fiberglass and orange sparkly things, that is just so unexpected and it's so eye-catching.
Pull up your car. This is the place. You've arrived. You're here. That's Googie. There's something space age about Googie. There's something futuristic about Googie. There's something very optimistic about Googie.
It was an architecture of pleasure, an architecture that was improving people's lives, making it more fun, more convenient, more enjoyable.
Dan, while I was listening to that clip of audio, I Google image searched Googie, and all I'm thinking right now is the Jetsons.
It's Jetsons architecture, absolutely. It's fantastic. And I thought about you while I was watching it. I thought this is the kind of film that you would really enjoy because it's a film that encourages you to look more closely at things that seem like they're everyday, but they're not everyday. People made them. People made choices about them. And it's about people desperately trying to preserve them in a modern world that is desperate to redevelop locations and bulldoze sites. So well worth heading along to. I really loved it. Well, let's skip the fourth one because I wasn't so mad keen on this one because I know we've got quite a lot to talk about still. But just those three alone were worth the price of admission for me.
That is fantastic. And the Resene Architecture and Design Film Festival did kick off in Auckland last night and is playing in 13 towns and cities across the country between now and June the 21st. You can find out more details online. Now, Dan, your paid streaming recommendation. It's on Prime Video. It sounds really cool. It's called Bait.
Oh, this is super cool, actually. And this is, look, Prime Video really confuses me because their feature films are terrible, almost universally, ridiculously.
I'm not so sure about this. Dan, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to cut the cord there. I was trying to give it a bit of time to iron the wrinkles out of that Zoom connection, but it is a wrinkled Zoom connection. That one. It is that pair of linen trousers that have been at the bottom of your washing basket, groaning under the weight of your everything else for the past 14 days. We'll give Dan Slevin a call back on the phone. No time like the present while we establish a phone line with Dan is to actually play the clip that he was going to play. So here is a clip from the trailer for Bait, which is streaming on Prime Video.
Oh my god. Sharp Eye, are you going to be the next James Bond?
What?
Huh? Wait. It might be cut.
Can I have a look at that?
Oh, no. It's legit. What the Oh my god, who's Bond, Judge? This is crazy. Wait. Chill, man.
Check the website. It's BBC. We can't trust him.
Craig Daniel, मर गया क्या साला?
Bro, why didn't you tell me? You sneak you can't.
It's just an audition.
Super James Bond mera shaju.
Listen, it's an audition. It's a photo from today's audition. That's all it is.
Oh, man. James Bond is white.
Chup. हमेशा नजर लगाता मेरे बच्चों को चुप.
I'm the He's playing. Do you know how much sex James Bond does? वो तो sex करता है. करते.
तो क्या हो गया? तो उसमें क्या हो गया?
I'm the and he's shaggy.
I'm actually
लोगों को मुल्क इनको भड़काओ नहीं. Listen, Baba, it's okay to be a little bit excited. You know, it's nice even just to have the opportunity. It's a big deal. You know, Brown James Bond. You should be proud.
That is from Bait, which Dan Slevin has watched for us using his Prime Video subscription. Dan, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I could hear you loud and clear through that entire incident. So I don't know what went wrong there. But anyway, time is marching on. So I'll tell you why you should watch this. It's 6 half-hour episodes. It's a comedy drama about a Pakistani British actor, very similar to Riz Ahmed, who gets an opportunity to audition for the role of the new James Bond, but blows the audition and then sort of starts experiencing a bit of blowback and trauma, etc. And, of course, that scene we heard there was his excited family thinking about all of the opportunities that might come their way. It's 6 episodes long. It starts very funny. It gets quite dark and very weird at the same time. And if you can imagine Sir Patrick Stewart playing the voice of a severed pig's head, that will give you an idea of how weird it gets. But it's brilliant. There's some terrific performances in there, and Riz Ahmed is a movie star all ends up.
Do you think Patrick Stewart might be in trouble with the mafia, Dan? Because wasn't he the voice of the poop emoji in the Emoji film as well?
Yeah, I think he just has maybe has a microphone in his bedroom and he just does these things for fun.
Dan Slevin, thank you very much as always, and let me wish you, I never thought I'd be saying these words, let me wish you and West Ham United all the very best for this weekend, because your success sends Tottenham down to the Championship, and nothing would give me greater joy.
And me too. Sorry to Richard Irvine for having to admit to that. But yes, I can barely sleep with the excitement of it all. It's ridiculous.
Dan Slevin, thank you very much. We'll catch you next week.
See ya.